All right, so last night I had one more beer, but I saved it because I didn't want to go too hard and heavy. But I had to definitely find another local one that wasn't too far away. I've been to Middleton Brewery and I did a video on a couple of their beers. And within that area, they have one. It's called Roughhouse Brewing. So I have not had any of their beers, and I would like to give them a video and see what they're going on. This one caught my attention. It's a dark saison ale, Sordid nature. So I just definitely want to try this one, see what it's about. Dark beers usually just catch my attention. That's when you use a darker malts and toasty malts or a combination, and you can create a whole other level of dark beers before you even go into porters and brown ale. So saison, just always know it's going to probably be a little wild. Ooh, definitely, it'll start showing up in a minute, but it's definitely toasty dark caramel, deep amber. I'm trying to give it a nice pour, but it's messing with me. Looks gorgeous if you can see it right there. Oh yeah. See if I can get a good angle. So that's a very good indicator. Also, there is some sediment in the bottom. It's totally normal. I've been home brewing, so any leftover microparticles of the malt and the yeast will collect together and they just sit on the bottom. So if you do one-time fermenting, it just sits in the same container. You might catch a little of them. If you do a secondary one, it reduces them, but it doesn't completely wipe them out. Other breweries you can filter it, or you can just completely remove it and then start bottling. So that's very good indicators right there. So I'm getting a little saison, which is like slightly sour, acidic smell. Catching very little bit of the hops and the caramel, but it's very minute. The distinction is the saison. The saison is probably more of the wild yeast, a little more natural flavor, and these were typically normal beers for a long time. Once they started controlling and liking certain yeast, they started growing the distinct styles, and because you can save that and keep growing it and feeding them and take care of them and give them nutrients and then get them back into the next beer, and you can definitely repeat the same style of beer over. So Blue Owl does a little more wild, but once they got the ones they like, they kept it, and it's still sour, but it's definitely controlled. Whereas like Gesture King always has different new ones they're looking for and going for. Ooh. So I'm getting very beautiful, deep, toasty caramel notes from the darker saison malt. But then that little tang is very minimal. So anyone that's learning about sour beers or not sure if they like sour beers, this is definitely refreshing and light enough to get you to introduce to them. So saisons would be your threshold. Anyone that doesn't want a sour, but they want something a little more flavorful, this is it. But I love dark beer, so always remember that. I just typically like and enjoy toasty, malty, caramel notes. They're just very easy to handle and process because it's very familiar and similar into food. Long story short, person last name Maillard, he defined and scientifically identified caramelization of sugars in food. So it's technically called the Maillard effect, but we just call it caramelizing, toasting, and those things are just across the board, a very basic food, and sometimes, you know, alcohol things. So it's very familiar. It's been around for who knows. As soon as we had fire, it was already happening. So this is very easy to introduce to, more familiar, and it won't destroy everything. But if you don't like it, that's just your preference and your taste, and it happens from taste buds to taste buds. But for me, this is pretty solid, and I hope I get to see them soon. All right, so thank you, Roughhouse. And I'm sorry I've been ignoring you. I didn't mean to. I didn't know you were so close. So I will be checking them out, but this one's a solid saison dark. Oh yeah, even though it's deep and rich, that little saison aspect kind of makes it refreshing, almost like super crisp, but not like a lager or a pale ale, but definitely like refreshing. I'm very happy I got that. Thank you. They only come in these ones. Just, you know, it's about like 10 bucks. You're looking at what? You're looking at a pint. So a pint of quality beer at 8.8% alcohol by volume. So definitely worth the purchase. So other than that, I hope this helped you out. If not, at least you got to see a new beer that was interesting and you get to know something about it, just a little bit. If you want to learn more, obviously go to the website. Most websites have all the information on there, and you can call them. I call them all the time, and the people that work there know their stuff, or if not, they have the basic information that answers your question. And that's all you really need, because then you're going to know if you want it, or if you're moving on to your next beer project. End of story. It just, unfortunately, that's how it is. But I'm going to take the time to savor this one. I hope you enjoy your day, and do be careful.